welcome everybody back to the Game Vault Podcast News Hour. I'm yours, Mark, and we're here October 5th, 2025. Our first podcast in October. Hopefully everybody has had a good weekend. I'm just going to do some little bit of video work here. And we should be good to go. There we go. How's everybody doing? For those of you that root for Philadelphia sports teams this weekend, not so good. But I have learned how to channel that emotion and not get me down. And the way I channel that emotion is I will report all the bad news in the video game industry to you guys. Deal? No. Well, I'm not kidding about that. There's a lot of bad news. We have Podcast Prime coming out on Wednesday. There we went all positivity. So just to be fair, I had to report some of the shitty things. So be on the lookout for that. Just some house cleaning up front. Extra Life coming up. November 8th is on Extra Life Day is our first stream. You can donate at tinyurl.com/game GVP Extra Life the number 10. That's GVP Extra Life the number 10. That should be in the description this week. So be sure to donate there. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to be doing a lot of stream on November through October through December. For those of you listening live, it's right up there. For those of you non-audio, you can see the link. That's the full thing. You can also just retype that link, but the tiny URL is better. So yeah. So we're doing that, and we have Podcast Prime, I say, coming on Wednesday, and then this week again will probably be a little shorter on the weekend, since there's Comic-Con, and there's Oldest Niece's Family Day, which I will go out and actually spend some time with her, unlike Saturday, where it was like 5 minutes her scarfing down a hoagie between games, and fist bump and a hug, and that was it. So hopefully this Saturday I spend a little more time. So, but yeah, that's it for house cleaning. Be sure to check in. All the archives for the most part are up on YouTube. I think the Trails ones are a little behind, but they're longer ones, so they take a little bit more time to render. So it's just a matter of if I have the time to sit down for an hour, 2 hours when I'm not playing something, to just render that. But yeah, but you should be able to catch up with all the other stuff on our YouTube channel. Yeah, so speaking of things on there, so we'll get into what I've been playing. So on stream, basically, I did not play any games this week. I did not do Mega Man on Monday, because I went to take a quick nap with a headache and woke up well after streaming time. So I was unable to do that. And then on Saturday, aforementioned Oldest Niece's first college softball scrimmage game. So I was not able to do Trails, on top of a first birthday party to go to. So no real time yesterday. So this is the first time I've been on here since last news hour. So, but that doesn't mean I have not been playing video games. So I played 2 games since I last spoke to you guys. And the funny part is this will be out of date with Podcast Prime, because we recorded that first. But so depending on what order you listen it to, you're either going to get spoiled or you'll get your answer. So I've been playing a lot of Hades 2. I literally just finished it before coming live here. That's why I was a few minutes behind. And this time I did not pause to fight Kronos before streaming. I did fight him. So I was unsuccessful in both instances. I did not defeat him, nor did I defeat him when I mentioned it on Podcast Prime. I did. Ooh, not in your podcasting. Yeah, oh yeah. So I got to the second form both times. That's not saying much. Obviously, both final bosses in most games have 2 or more forms. So I still haven't figured out he has this big, huge attack in the form, and I don't know if it's just a DPS race um, with my Death Defiances. If I just need to kill him before he unloads those attacks. Um, but yeah, so we're getting there. I got all the way you go up as well, so I got through most of that as well. I thought I was going to beat that first, which is like out of line with the story. But yeah, so we got a lot of equipment, a lot of things completed. I've seen a lot of what everybody can offer. Seen a bunch of the characters, starting to piece together the story. So Hades 2, like I said, it's probably going to come down to final decision between that and Expedition 33 for me in terms of Game of the Year. So I really, really love this game. It's gorgeous. Music is nice. I actually like the play style of this more than I did for Hades 1. I pretty much figured out a strat for me that worked just about all the time and gave me no encouragement to go use the other weapons. So I've been bouncing around weapons here, but I do have one that I have been using a lot, but I would use the knuckles all the time, and I have about 30 clears of Hades 1 with just the knuckles. So, yeah. Oh, no, welcome back, Goat. That's always a thing to be concerned about. Goat smelled some smoke. And that's I do that all the time when someone's barbecuing around me. I'm like, is that my house? Okay, no, it's just someone barbecuing. Yeah, so Hades 2, it's been fantastic, loving it. Probably gonna play it right after we get done here, and see if I can beat Kronos. Death to Kronos, everyone. Yeah, and the other game I've been playing really is I played Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, Jesus. Whew. Take a breath, Mark. Trust me, the game is not going to be anywhere near Final Fantasy. I played FC 26, which is the soccer game that EA puts out. And as I mentioned the podcast Prime, I'll just reiterate it here because I played it a bit more since then. This might be the best FIFA FC in at least a half decade. The presentation is as next level. The actual soccer is good. The goalies react like goalies. You actually feel like when you play against top players in the world, you feel like you're playing against top players in the world, and it doesn't feel cheap. And yeah, and everything, they touched up a few little things for accessibility purposes in the career mode, which I love. They added live careers, which I haven't tested yet. That's because it felt like a little too like live servicey for me. So, but I will test it when I do get the full game in the spring. But yeah, this is probably, if you're interested in the football, this is probably the best one that they have put out in a long time. So I would highly recommend picking it up. And I don't normally. I think the last time I got high praise was for NCAA 25, which as they have started updating things, for some reason started breaking it. But yeah, the FC 26, thumbs up from your boy here. I think that's about all I've been playing. Had a lot of things going on, so didn't get to much. Oh man, always looking for the Permantes update from you, Goat. So we'll get it next week. Yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, it's just basically just been Hades. Still, I'm conserving my money because I have Comic-Con coming up on Friday. So probably after that is when I will get Sonic Crossroads and a couple other games. Just because I need to see if I need to supplement anything that Kitty Ashcat wants to buy. Um, I already bought her part of a gift where I got her a photo op with the girl that does the voice of Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. Um, and yeah, so and she's 14, so there might be something where I need to chip in a little, like 10, $20 or something to help out. But yeah, yeah. So you'll get a lot more games from me. Not next news hour, the one after, because I'll have a lot of time. I'm off next week, staycation. Just gonna stay home, play a lot of video games, clean my apartment, get it ready for the holidays, and for Extra Life. All right. Speaking of that, let's move on to the news. And first off, in shitty news, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate raises price to $30 a month. Microsoft adds more day one games and throws in Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Classics to help justify the cost. Microsoft has kicked off October by announcing a significant price raise for Xbox Gold Ultimate, which comes over just a year after the last price raise for the subscription service. In July 2024, Microsoft raised the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate from $16.99 a month to $19.99 a month in the US, with similar price increases occurring across all other markets. At the same time, it introduced a new standard tier at the original Game Pass Ultimate price point that lacks day one game access. Now, just 14 months later, Microsoft has once again hiked the price of Ultimate, which jumps from $19.99 a month to $29.99 a month. That's a 50% increase in the US, or an extra $120 per year. In the UK, the jump is 53.3%, with Ultimate rising from £14.99 to £22.99, or an extra £96 a year. Yeah, so yeah, essentially, this is probably, as they say, crossing the Rubicon. In terms of whether Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. And as always, these first four stories are Microsoft, and we want to acknowledge that if you do follow the BDS boycott, they are still under it. So, you know, be aware of that. Yeah, so for those of us who already subscribed, these prices will not come into effect until November 4th. But for anybody signing up new, these prices are in effect right now. I'm on the fence here. I think the real thing I gotta figure out is how much of Game Pass does Kitty Ashcat use for PC Game Pass, since she is just strictly a PC player of things. So, yeah. And to get to Meta Militia's point up there, the part in the website where you click to go to cancellations was having error problems as soon as this was announced. Like, it was hard for people to even get in. That's how many people were. They were, like, crashing the site. So I can't imagine what those numbers were for cancellations. The main issue is I feel like I finally gotten to the point of being a gamer where all of the extras they're throwing on top of these monthly services do not help me in the least. Like, sure, Ubisoft Classics, I get like a bunch of old Rayman and Assassin's Creed and all that stuff. Awesome. I probably own most of those games already. But the other thing is, Fortnite thing, which I do not play Fortnite. and a bunch of cloud streaming and other stuff which I do not use. And they're also not that I would use this. It's a story coming up. We'll talk about things they're taking away, like silently from this. Yeah, the I just gotta see. I might eat it for November and then, figure out from there. But yeah, it's definitely, this is the first time I've considered going down. I instantly I went up with PlayStation Plus for like 6 months and realized there was nothing there for me. And I went down to essentially their essentials tier. So I might need to be doing the same here. So at worst, I would go down the premium, which is $14.99 a month. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just weighing the options now of how far to go down on here. I'm not going to do just PC because I do have an Xbox console. So, but I'm probably most likely going to drop from Ultimate. But yeah, just really shitty news. As we're going to go through, there's like 3 or 4 stories here from Microsoft. I just think they're just going to live off all the residual income from Call of Duty and King and all that. And they're putting all their apples into AI. And if that collapses, no more Xbox, essentially, is my thought on it. So, yeah. And like I said, Microsoft also appears to have quietly ditched the 10% discount that you get for having Game Pass. It says, including Call of Duty points this week. Yeah, and I feel a lot of people are in your same boat. The good news is this might be the last Xbox to buy. But anyway, continuing on with this story. As part of the controversial changes to Xbox Game Pass this week, Microsoft has pulled the 10% discount on DLCs for Game Pass games that Ultimate subscribers were able to get, seemingly in favor of its new rewards scheme. The first to emerge when the Call of Duty community noticed that Ultimate subscribers were no longer eligible for 10% off COD points, as well as Black Cell, the more expensive version of Call of Duty's Battle Pass that can only be bought directly with real-world money for $29.99. The discount was seen as highly valuable for fans who play Call of Duty via Game Pass. Charlie Intel first spotted the change in the US, and IGN has verified that this discount is no longer available in the UK. IGN has asked Microsoft for a comment. It seems that this discount removal extends beyond Call of Duty. However, as spotted by Pure Xbox, the majority of individual DLC packs for Game Pass no longer have 10% off for subscribers, except for EA Play, where games where the 10% reduction still applies. The removal of the discount was not mentioned in this week's Ultimate subscription price rise announcement. However, Microsoft did confirm changes to how Ultimate subscribers earn cashback via its rewards system, and it is believed that these changes act as a replacement of sorts. Here's the blurb on the rewards program. Ultimate subscribers can now earn up to $100 per year, at 100,000 points globally in the store just by playing games. With our upgraded rewards program, players can get up to 30% value on selected Game Pass games, with 4 times points on purchases of games and add-ons, 10% back in points on select Game Pass titles and add-ons, and up to 20% off the select Game Pass games. Essentially, if you subscribe to Ultimate, you get more points from Call of Duty point purchases. Clearly, Microsoft's play here, like so many retailers, is to keep your money swirling around its ecosystem rather than your bank account. As Redditor Dazza Thomas explained, the change is that Premium gets 5% more rewards points and Ultimate gets 10% when buying add-on content from Game Pass games. They want you to spend full amounts and give the savings back to you in rewards points so that you spend those on gift cards, keeping it in the Xbox ecosystem rather than saving you money. Again, another shitty practice in this. This is going to be a theme here. I will say I never used. Yeah, so it 100% feels like, and this is just me speculating, obviously, that they are so ingrained to AI that they asked AI what to do here, and this is what AI came up with, and they're just following what the AI is telling them, and because this makes no sense, nobody seems to like it except for Microsoft, and I don't know. The hopelessness you feel is that you don't know what you can do to change it. That's true too. It could be a mixture of both, Night Duck, to be honest. It could be these people are so AI like brained and pilled and all that, or whatever the term you want to use, that they yeah, they just think that is the savior of all things. Um, but yeah, it's disheartening. Um, and adding on, Microsoft is reportedly testing free Xbox Cloud gaming support by ads with monthly play limits. Microsoft is reportedly set to announce a free version of Xbox Cloud Gaming with ads for PC, Xbox consoles, handheld devices, and the web. The Verge, Tom Warren reports that Xbox Cloud Gaming supported by ads is currently being tested internally and does not require a Game Pass subscription. Public test is said to be coming soon with a release in the months ahead. Warren sources indicate that Microsoft is testing approximately 2 minutes of ads before a game is playable for free via streaming. Microsoft is also apparently testing a limit of 1 hour for sessions, up to 5 hours free a month. But as Warren points out, this might change for launch. So yeah, another great idea. This very much feels like a way they get paid for free demos. That's what this feels like. Like normally companies would put out demos and get you to play a game and limit how much of that game you can play to get you to purchase the game. But now they're just adding ads to it. I guess this is the same thing as those demo discs they used to send out that had all those ads on it, on top of the normal stuff. Yeah, you would hope, but God knows how much they're paying him, Phil Spencer, to just say yes to all of this. But I wouldn't be surprised. He's at the level. There was something I either learned at school or somebody had told me that the normal, like, unless if it's like person's like the founder of a company, like the normal CEO stays at one company for like 10 to 15 years at most, and then they either retire, golden parachute as you mentioned, or they move on to another company. And Phil's about in that range there. And yeah, I don't know what to expect. This is just, like I said, we were positive on the Prime. This shit was all going on pre that. And finally, one last thing. This is part of the positive stuff. Microsoft just added 45 new games to Xbox Game Pass, including Redacted and Ubisoft's back catalog. Here's the full list. So the full list of games here. Again, all the Assassin's Creeds. Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Apparently 2 is only for PC. That's crazy. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Freedom. All these Assassin's Creeds. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Assassin's Creed games that you'll now get on Game Pass. Child of Light, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, Far Cry Primal. What other things? We got a couple Monopoly games, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. We got a Rabbids game, 2 Rabbids games, only 1 Rayman game. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. South Park: The Stick of Truth, not even the second one. Skull and Bones, for those of you out there. Steep, The Crew 2, and then we have Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, Rainbow Six Extraction, and The Division, the first one. Trials Fusion, Blood Dragon, Valiant Hearts, Watch Dogs, Wheel of Fortune, and then a couple other things, Age of Empire games. I'm just going through this list here. City Skylines 2, a bunch of stuff I already have. Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Halo Spartan Strike, Minecraft, Quake 4, Quake 3 Arena, the Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, Wolfenstein 3D, and then City Skylines Remastered, Hades, just a whole bunch of games, and that's so this is all this is what $10 more a month gets you. All of this stuff. So be sure to thank Microsoft for all of these new games for you to play here. Game Pass. It's just a shame because Game Pass used to be, the thing. So next up, in more terrible, terrible news for the industry, EA goes private in $55 billion deal with PIF, the Public Investment Fund, I believe it's called, which is basically just the country of Saudi Arabia. Silver Lake and Affinity Partners, Andrew Wilson to remain CEO. Just to let you know, I think it's Silver Lake. I think one of the partners of that is one Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of the President of the United States. So, awesome. EA has confirmed it agreed to be acquired by an investor group composed of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners in a transaction valued at approximately $55 billion. It's the largest all-cash sponsor private investment in history. Under the terms of the agreement, the group will acquire 100% of EA, with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund rolling over its existing 9.9% stake in the company. EA stockholders will receive $210 per share in cash. Their per share price represents 25% premium to EA's unaffected share price of $168.32 at market close on September 25th, 2025, and a premium to EA's unaffected all-time high of $179.01 at market close. Following the close of the transaction, EA's common stock will no longer be listed on the public market. Andrew Wilson did comment on this. Our creative and passionate teams at EA have delivered extraordinary experiences for hundreds of millions of fans, built some of the world's most iconic IPs, and created significant value for our business. This moment is a powerful recognition of their remarkable work. Looking ahead, we will continue to push the boundaries of entertainment, sports, and technology, unlocking new opportunities. Together with our partners, we will create transformative experiences to inspire generations to come. I am more energized than ever about the future that we are building. EA will continue to be led by Wilson and remain headquartered in Redwood City, California. The transaction is expected to close in Q1 fiscal year 2027, subject to regulatory and stockholder approvals. So, essentially, shitty investment firm and not so great country buys EA. So, this most likely is barring some kind of miracle, is probably if this goes the way most of these other leverage buyouts and all this have occurred, this is probably the end of EA, and they'll just start selling off the parts to make up for the debt that just got saddled on them. But yeah, this was another terrible news to wake up to, and just how just not great this industry is becoming. And yeah. So this is just a wait and see. It's a while before it'll become official, so maybe we won't be playing video games by that point. And in sad news, Rock Band 4 is being delisted from digital stores this weekend, so it has already happened. Rock Band 4 DLC will also begin to vanish. Fate of Legacy DLC will be figured out over the coming months. Rock Band 4 is being dislisted from both Xbox and PlayStation digital stores this weekend due to expiring music licenses. Developer Harmonix has confirmed. The news was posted across the game's official Discord channel and its subreddit. The warning has come with just days to act and arrives on the eve of the game's 10th anniversary. On Sunday, October 5th, 2025, Rock Band 4 turns 10. Reads the statement, "What a ride it has been." With this milestone comes one big change. The original licenses for the Cure soundtrack are expiring. Because of that, Rock Band 4 will be removed from the PlayStation and Xbox digital stores. If you already own the game, nothing changes. You will keep full access and still be able to download the game and songs to any new compatible devices. The same applies to downloadable content. Songs will come down as they hit the 10-year mark, but anything you've already purchased will remain in your library. We're so grateful for the passion this community has shown from the team. It has been a special experience to serve you with Rivals challenges, a super deep DLC library, and a best-in-class band sim. If you've been meaning to grab a few last songs, now is the time. As of Sunday, Rock Band 4 and Rock Band 4 DLC, that were specifically released on its launch day will no longer be able to purchase. It has been clarified on Discord that DLC tracks from prior Rock Band games released before Rock Band 4 are not being delisted yet, but the team will be figuring out those over the next coming months. So, a sad day. Essentially, Tom, I'm assuming they just had to wait for the licenses to run out, and apparently we know, got confirmation that they signed 10-year contracts. Specifically, it's always been rumored, but they specifically confirm it here, that they're 10-year contracts. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of Rock Band 4 DLC and Rock Band 4. So only thing this will be affecting is if I had any things that I wanted to buy. So we will see how this goes. I mean, maybe it'll make a Rock Band 5. Who knows? Probably not. But it's cool that they're just keeping everything going still, and not completely closing the servers, which would suck. But yeah, sorry to bring this news late if you did want to jump in on it, but I'm assuming people that watch this, for the most part, aren't going to buy Rock Band 4 last minute. Next up, Sony is quietly introducing an updated PS5 digital edition consoles with smaller SSDs. PlayStation fans are being advised to act now if they want to buy a PlayStation 5 digital edition 1TB console, as fresh stock quickly filters into Europe with a smaller SSD, despite the console being sold at the same price. Sony has not trumpeted the change, though insider Bilby Kuhn noted earlier this month that new PlayStation 5 digital edition retail stock in Europe would contain an 825GB SSD, down from the current 1TB. For now, the PS5 Slim model with the disk drive appears to be retaining its 1TB SSD. This week, one of the new 825 digital edition models was unboxed and showed off in a teardown video by YouTuber Austin Evans, revealing other changes likely intended to cut the console's manufacturing costs, meaning better margins for Sony, even if the savings aren't being passed on to the customers. The newer edition, smaller SSD is listed on the console's external packaging, though this is easy to miss, especially when buying online. Again, Sony has not publicly stated a reason for the SSD downgrade, though the smaller SSD will almost certainly be cheaper to produce. So essentially, shrinkflation is the best way to talk about this. Essentially, they're trying to get everybody to go buy a Pro, essentially, by making the Pro look more, appetizing is the wrong word, more alluring or whatever, by making the base editions more expensive and not give you as much. So if you haven't gotten a PlayStation 5 yet, it'd probably be your best case if you can't get the 1 terabyte to just, I guess, save up more money to get a Pro. At this point, it's going to be worth it. Just because you're going to be paying the same amount of money for less soon, for if you're getting the base model. So, all right, moving on. Next up, Black Ops 7 did their beta, and the cheaters have come for it. No surprise. The Call of Duty Black Ops beta is live now, and as Activision expected, cheaters have descended upon it. Earlier this week, Activision said it was well aware that cheaters would strike the beta, as they had previously Call of Duty betas, but welcomed the onslaught that was to come. Cheaters will try to test the limits during the beta, Activision said. That's exactly what we want, because Team Ricochet is here, watching, learning, and removing them as they appear. Any account permanently banned for cheating during the beta will be banned across all Call of Duty titles, from Call of Duty Modern Warfare to future releases. Activision had highlighted its new aimbot detection, which it said is one of the strongest detection systems we've ever built, and its new wall hacking detections, making it harder for cheaters who manipulate the game to see enemies through surfaces harder to escape detection. But a cursory glance at the social media shows a number of clips revealing cheaters enjoying themselves in the Black Ops open beta. According to the official Call of Duty updates on Twitter, many of the accounts shown to be used in hacks and clips, like above in the story, have already been banned. The hope is, of course, that the data gathered during this beta period will help reduce cheating when Black Ops 7 comes out in November. But publishers like Activision face an uphill battle when it comes to cheats. Indeed, EA faced the same problem with rival shooter Battlefield 6, where its open beta also saw cheaters. So, no shock. People are going to try and cheat because apparently a high KD rate means they have giant manhood. So, yeah, gotta cheat to get those, so that all the girls will be all over you for having your high KD numbers. So hopefully this helps figure it out. So for those of you that do actually want to play the game and have fun with it, can have fun with it. Exactly. Shame. Tar and feathered them. Next up, a story that interests for me, the Lego Game Boy, which launched this week, and somebody's already modded it to actually play the games. Lego's Lifelike Game Boy set has already been modded to play actual Game Boy cartridges after going on sale earlier this week. Talented modder Natalie the Nerd showcased her quick work on the project via her blog today, which actually began before the set arrived based on Lego's own pre-launch photos. No stranger to tinkering with retro hardware, the modder said her work on modifying the Game Boy's innards was relatively straightforward, though it had to fit inside a very space-conscious build within the Lego model. Natalie says, I incorporated the power circuit I use for my safe charger boards, changed the power switch to a soft latching power button, and added pinouts for the button matrix and audio. To be clear, this involves creating a custom Game Boy circuit board to fit within the design and also use the Lego's own model cartridge slot. So there's no emulation going on here. Um, I didn't really know what the buttons on the Lego would be like, but the fact that they could be pressed was enough for me to know that I could implement them. At the moment, I have them wired up to a custom 3D printed toy brick parts. Same with the USB-C. The result is an already working build, though with slightly more time. Natalie the Nerd says she'll be refining the project before ultimately releasing her plans for others to try themselves. I love people that are just really good at stuff like this. Like, this is really cool to be able to mod this to make it work. Like, that's a lot of work and a lot of dedication. And people like Natalie the Nerd should be celebrated for that. Yeah. Yeah, I knew when I first saw this, I'm like, somebody's going to try and turn this into a working Game Boy. And needless to say, they did it almost at launch. So, yeah, it's a pretty fun story there. So if you've picked up the Lego Game Boy set, you may be able to make it work. Next up, K-pop Demon Hunters joined Fortnite with Demon Rush mode. This is just for me personally. Fortnite has announced full details of its expanded crossover with Netflix movie sensation K-pop Demon Hunters, which, as IGN reported yesterday, launches in full this week. Aside from owning Rumi, Mira, Zoe as new skins, Huntrix will also be the star of their own in-game mode and pop up in core battle royale gameplay. Launching on October 2nd and available until November 1st, Horde Rush Demon Rush sees players team up with Huntrix for a new version of Fortnite's fan favorite Horde opening. In the past, the mode has traditionally arrived alongside the game's main Fortnite Mayor's event. This year, however, the newly retitled Demon Rush has had something of a makeover, fitting with both the Demon Hunters themselves and Fallout's Chapter 6 wider dynamic theme. So, yeah, it's no surprise. Jumping on success of a cultural point. There's a better word for that. And this makes a ton of sense for the demographic that K-pop Demon Hunters is going for. And Fortnite. I have yet to ask Kitty Ashcat about this, so I will get reports from the kid about how this is going over with her peoples. But yeah, no surprise that Fortnite knows when to strike while the iron is hot before this loses its momentum here, and timed it perfectly with October. All right. And Pragmata, the early concepts for Diana, the little girl, included a robot, animals, and even a talking dog. So this is just a fun story. I decided to end the show with a bunch of fun stories. At Tokyo's Game Show 2025, we had another chance to check out Pragmata, Capcom's upcoming new IP, starring a spaceman and an android companion in the form of a little girl named Diana, trying to escape a rogue AI on the moon. We also got a chance to talk to the game's creators and learn some interesting stories from the game's development, including that Diana was once, among things, a talking dog. This comes from their IGN's interview with game director Cho Young-hee. He said, so early on, Diana wasn't this young girl android. We'd gone through various ideas with it being an animal or a robot or various things before we landed on something that we felt would click. So it's not that we just wanted to have a little girl. We wanted to have just a little child. Basically, you can protect and you can follow around, basically. So that's how it began. I asked him what sorts of animals he considered, to which he said a dog. And then I asked if the dog could talk like Diana does. And he said, yes, a talking dog. I don't know if a talking dog would have been better than this. Gotta see when the game comes out. But I feel that they missed an opportunity. I personally feel Talking Dog would have been a better choice here. But we'll see. Maybe Pragmata the little girl robot is the right choice. Next up, the voice behind Mortal Kombat's Toasty is leaving NetherRealm. Few games have given us as many iconic one-liners as NetherRealm's fighting franchise, Mortal Kombat. But this week we learned that the voice behind one of the most famous, Toasty, is leaving the studio. Audio director Dan Forden worked at Midway and its successor NetherRealm Studios since 1989, most famously on the Mortal Kombat franchise. It's his voice we hear cry Toasty in falsetto when we pull off an impressive uppercut. First appearing in 1993's Mortal Kombat 2, Toasty went on to become one of the most recognizable lines of dialogue in all of video games. Now, however, Foden is leaving NetherRealm, writing in a heartfelt message on social media that he was really proud of what the studio accomplished. He said on Instagram, "Wednesday was my last day at NetherRealm. We made a lot of fun stuff over the years. I'm really proud of what we accomplished, as well as how much fun we had making that stuff. They are so smart. There are so many smart, talented people there. Look for more great things to emerge over the next several years. I love the little touches that people left around the studio, like this little Toasty homage on the bathroom mirror." And then the photo is somebody put a sticker on the bathroom mirror of the game. Says Toasty, like his face from the game. I wouldn't have lasted 37 years in the industry if fans weren't out there playing the games we made. Thanks to all you for supporting what we've done. Long live long, and Toasty. Asked in the comments why he was leaving, Forden explained, "I figured I'd been around long enough and want to reclaim that time for my own interest." So, goodbye to one of the first lines in video games that I would repeat constantly. This and obviously Boom Shakalaka or He's on Fire, depending on which one you choose, from NBA Jam. Again, another Midway product. So, Dan, we say good luck in your future endeavors, and hopefully you find some peace for those and time for those interests. It has been a nice ride for Midway. And finally, Burger King says it's ditched the Creepy King because he was scaring off families with kids who walked straight into McDonald's instead. So I'm not going to read much of this story here. I just wanted to say it is a shame that they have decided to remove the Creepy King, who was the star of one of the greatest video games of all time, Sneak King. I think this is a travesty. You cannot let a man with that much pull in the video game industry go. I mean, Sneak King is one of the greatest video games of all time. And Burger King just didn't know what it had. So, as sad and Creepy King, we are one. # we are all Creepy King. Make sure to go out and play Sneak King in honor of our brethren, the Creepy King. All right, and that'll do it for the news hour. We had a little fun there at the end. We had a lot of heavy stuff up front, so I want to have a little fun with Creepy King at the end. So thank you all for joining me. Again, Extra Life, you can go to tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod, Extra Life, the number 10, and donate there. We will be doing our first stream on Saturday, November 8th, as part of Extra Life Day. So be sure to tune in for that. It'll probably be me going full 12 to 18 hours. Once I get the basketball schedule for my second job, we'll see if Tom will need to do a little 4-hour stint in between. But we'll keep you updated on that. We're trying to get together one last time, everybody together. Since this is our 10th anniversary, just to do a small, minor, stream all together in one place. So be on the lookout for that. But we will be streaming every Saturday in November and December in honor of raising money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll have some special things going on during each stream that'll make it worth tuning in. And in terms of streaming, we have Mega Man 3 tonight, or Monday if you're watching this live. And then Tom doing Final Fantasy 6 on Thursday. And then probably no streams again until Sunday with the News Hour again. But just keep an eye out. Keep your notifications checked just in case if I am able to get some time to get in a stream this weekend. All right. So once again, thank you guys for joining me. Be sure to check us all out this week. And we'll see you next time. Bye.